Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel that teaches you guys how to edit in the quickest way possible. Today we're going to be talking about thumbnails, how to create badass thumbnails. We're in Premiere Pro today and I'm going to be using the masking tool. I'm going to show you guys starting with creating a color matte, which you guys should be familiar with now if you're subscribed to the channel. Let's go ahead and create a thumbnail. So first, we're going to need some text. All right. Let's go ahead and type create badass thumbnails. The font that I like to use is Metropolis. All right, so creating badass thumbnails. So why use the masking tool? Well, the masking tool is under the opacity tab in Premiere Pro. And it's going to allow us to layer different photos onto one another. Well, let's just go to YouTube and actually let's look at one of the most successful channels of 2020. Let's look at Mr. Beast's channel. Look, this is a perfect example. Okay, this is all using a masking tool. Okay, so here he has pictures of himself, and then in the background, a Lamborghini. Let's do that. All right. Perfect. Okay, so go ahead and let's save this image as. Now it's a JPEG. So let's go ahead and bring this guy in. Scale to frame size. And then this is where the masking tool is going to come into play. All right, so we're going to mask this Lamborghini out of the background, okay? So we can put it anywhere we want on the screen. So I'm going to make sure that I click on the Lambo Huracan. I'm going to come to the masking tool under opacity, making sure that I have the effects control panel open. Now, if this is a little too advanced, go back and watch the tutorials on the effects control panel, for example, and check out some of the other tutorials on this channel. But I'm going to highlight the mask tool. And I'm going to simply come around this Lambo here in Premiere Pro. And I don't need it to be perfect around the edges. The more perfect, the better. But if you're just working with thumbnails, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. Now I can zoom up, to 150 if I need to. And I'm going to bring this masking tool all the way around the car here, all the way around, and then I'm going to complete the circle, and now I have this Lambo that has been completely masked out. So I can come over to the mask expansion, and now since I went a little over the Lambo, I can bring that mask expansion, I can either expand it or I can bring it down. I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to increase the feather a little bit. All right. So you guys can play with this a little bit, and then you can simply, scale the Lamborghini down, move it to the side, and that is the first masking tool. The first piece to our badass thumbnail video. Look at that. We got a nice mansion in the background, money, islands. I love it. Let's just do all of it. People like to click on videos with mansions in them. I don't know why, but chances are because everybody wants a mansion. Click Save Image, bring that directly into Premiere Pro. I'm going to go ahead and scale this image to the frame size again. And for the sake of this guy, I'm going to get a little more up close. All right, so I'm going to come up to 150, and it's time to mask. So we're going to just highlight the edges that we want in our thumbnail. Come to fit to size. And there we go. Check it out. We've used our masking tool to create our badass thumbnail. Okay, we got stacks of racks. I like this guy. Let's go ahead and download this guy. This will look good in the background. This is how they do it, man. This is how they do it. Check that out. We can just put a ton of money behind that house. Change the color a little bit. So maybe add a stroke and add that stroke the same as the house. Okay, good. Now I can also add a gradient, which is another important tool for creating thumbnails. So what a gradient would look like is I'm going to be using the masking tool again, but I create a color mat. That's black, for example. Now I can paste this under my text, and I'm going to go ahead and press the mask tool square. I can bring this all the way across. And then I just simply increase the mask feather. So now that makes that text way easier to read. Now, the other important thing with creating badass thumbnails is now YouTube's timecode shows up in the bottom right corner. So you don't want to use the bottom right corner. You want to leave that open. Let's add a butt. There's a nice butt. Okay, save image as, and let's go ahead and bring that in. This is the same exact deal here. We're going to be using our mask tool. So we can go ahead and mask around this body. All right, mask expansion. We're bringing that in a little bit. And we're going to add a feather, just like we did last time. We might want to add a flare. So let's do light flares. Okay, get a nice light flare or two in our thumbnail. This one's nice. Let's go ahead and save this image as a JPEG. Come up, let's put this over the whole thing. Press scale to frame size. And we can go ahead and press screen on this guy. Maybe let's put that right on the dashboard of the Lambo. Save image as, it's a JPEG, so we'll be able to mask that again. Put this on the lawn or something like that. Watch this before you die. Put a color mat underneath. And again, matte this guy again here. Reduce the opacity a little bit. And then I like the light and lens flare. So we used a few images there, and you know, we we just used the masking tool and the opacity. We added the light flare, changed that to screen, added some text, and I mean, with those tools alone, you can create any thumbnail that you'd like that would rival any of those successful thumbnails on the YouTube platform. So hopefully that helped. If you guys have any other questions on tutorials, please let me know. I'm happy to answer anything, and hopefully you guys have a great day. Thanks.